Hey guys, it's MisterTanooki here. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play CastleVania Aria of Sorrow. On the last episode, we completed what you could probably call the first area of the game, and this episode, we're going to be moving on to the second area. However, I want to quickly explain something that I didn't mention last episode. As CastleVania is essentially an RPG game, there is going to be a lot of level grinding. I don't want to do that on camera, so I've got this rule. I am going to be grinding off camera, but I'm only going to be doing it on enemies that you've already encountered throughout this playthrough. That way nothing gets spoiled and there's not going to be anything that you haven't seen. However, while doing that, while doing the grinding, I did come across a couple of items. So the first one is one that actually came from an axe armor, and it is actually a really good item. It's the leather plate. It's +3 defense and nothing else, but seriously, just that is pretty impressive, and it's obviously you know, the best thing we can have at this point in time. I'm also not sure whether I want to keep this, because we've already got kind of a high defense, so now that goes down to 17. I think I'm actually going to switch to the pendant, just so we get a bit more luck, because we get souls. On the subject of souls, I collected one more. I got the skeleton soul. In fact, I got it twice. So that should give you an indication of how easy it is to get. Now, this is actually one that was kind of in the first Castlevania game. Essentially, it just lets you throw bones. It's a pretty simple power-up, but still kind of fun in my personal opinion. I'm going to switch back to the winged skeleton. And on this episode, like I said, we are going to be continuing through. Just going to kill these bats quickly, just so we can get a couple of quick experience points. We've got 187 experience to go until we get through. Now, if you remember, at the end of last episode, we got a new soul, which was the flying armor, and like I said, the flying armor just kind of lets us float. We actually need that to get to the next area of the game, which we're going to now. We just have to like ascend this staircase. I want to show you guys something that I think is really cool. Just killing blue crows, just really with no effort. Also, the enemies that are on these stairs are actually kind of easy, like you can one hit kill them, and I think once we jump on this, something falls down. Yes, it is. That's a boar. I think it's pronounced boar, Bua, I'm not sure. It's Greek mythology, I'm pretty sure. It's basically like a lion with a couple of legs and like a force field around it. When you collect that, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it just like gives you like fire around you. It's essentially the bat power-up, except it replaces your fire armor. Your flying armor, sorry. So it's really not that good, actually, when you think about it. These are the white dragons. They were in the first game as well. I believe they're in the 4th area of the first Castlevania game. We're encountering new enemies, the zombie soldiers, and once again the typical axe soldiers, which the first time I got hit by them, kind of impressive. I'm surprised, actually, how little the axe soldiers are actually worth, because while I was grinding off screen, I did actually notice that they weren't actually giving us, oh, we've got a lever plate there, they weren't actually giving us as much experience as I thought they would, which is surprising for me, because at this point in time, they're actually one of the hardest enemies that we can encounter. I think these ones give us a lot more experience than they do. I think they actually might give us like 20, I think. I'm actually going to check. You know what? Let's check this. Okay, so I think they give us, what was it? The Skeleton Knight, they give us 12. Okay, that's still pretty good. Oh, actually, you know what? Curiosity killed the cat and all that. Let's just see how many. 10. Okay, so still a slight difference, but 2 experience points at this point in time actually does make a huge difference. So I kill as many of these as I can. And with these guys, because they can actually get you from a distance, I find the best thing to do with them is to get the soul power you have, which in this case is the skeleton. I was on the, as you know from last episode, I was on the bat power up for quite a while, but I didn't find it was actually that useful, so I just thought I might as well just ditch it and continue on with what I know. I think if we go this way, let me just check the map quickly. I just want to see if this leads to what I think it is. Yeah, I think this leads to the top area. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to take the top area, because the top area actually leads to a little bonus area, I guess you could call it. It's not a necessary place, but you can actually get like a lot of experience if you go there, because there's a lot of enemies on the path there. And actually we've almost leveled up, which is kind of funny, because I didn't think we would have done that so quickly. We're almost level 5, so that's saying something. And I think I personally found when playing this game, once you get to like level 5 and every like you know, numeral of 5, you could say, I find that you get like more powerful than the current enemies in that area. So I think once you get to level 5 in Area 1, which we're in, all the enemies just become pretty pipsqueak. To be honest, I'm going to see what's in these. Typical CastleVania fashion, like I said last episode, destroy the candles and such, and you will get hearts, you'll get money. And I believe once you have full hearts, which is obviously the green bar, again, yes, I know it's confusing. I know for a fact, okay, here's the thing. There's a ledge over there, which leads to a really good piece of armor. I think it's an iron plate. And I know for a fact you can actually, like, kind of glitch your way over there by jumping at just the right frame. And gliding, because I've actually done, because I thought that was the way you were supposed to do it, so I spent hours trying to do it. I'm just going to do it a couple times. That might be it. No, that's not it. See, I think that you kind of have to, like, go about there. I'm just trying to figure out how, like, that might be it. No, that's not it. Okay, I'm going to try one more time because I'm very, very dedicated to doing this now. Come on! Nope, okay, that's not going to happen. Alright, at least we tried. But yeah, let me know, if you're playing along with me, let me know if you could actually do that. Because like I said, I've done it a couple times, but I don't really want to do it on screen because it's kind of annoying to do. Once again, a white dragon. They're two forms of attack. I haven't mentioned it yet. They can, like, bop you with their heads, and they can breathe fire. So they're kind of like the creaking skull. Their main attacks are bopping you with their body and using fire. So we've got the scarf, the Doctor Who scarf, for some reason. No idea why a Doctor Who scarf's in the game. 20 defense, that's actually kind of good. But then we have to sacrifice 1 luck. You know what, our luck's actually gone up to the point where we won't really need that pendant anymore. There is a kind of improved version of that pendant called the Lucky Charm later in the game, and once we get to that, I think I'm going to replace everything with that because that becomes really easy. Collecting souls, like I said, is important. I've done 100% soul run of this game, and the reason I'm not going to do that in this playthrough is because it's more of a pain than anything. Kind of the same reason that I'm not that I haven't done the blue coins in Mario Sunshine, because it's just more of an inconvenience and it just stops making the game fun. It's personally, it's a nice challenge if you want to play it by yourself, so I recommend doing it. I'll say how to get souls, because there are a couple souls you need to get in certain ways. But other than that, you know, I find when you have to record it and you have to meet deadlines and stuff, it kind of makes it a lot less fun to put in, like, that much more work. And a lot of it requires, like, hours of grinding. There's this one soul called, I think it's called the Windfish. No, I think that's a Zelda thing, I'm pretty sure. But there's this one soul where you have to, like, slow down time at a certain point and then attack it. And that took me, like, 3 hours my first attempt. Which would be fine if, you know, like, it was my fault and I wasn't getting it at the right time. But the thing is, it's one of those souls, like, you have to be lucky in getting it. You have to have the right amount of luck. It's not one that you just get straight away just by meeting a couple of requirements. Ghosts. I think, actually, if I remember correctly, the ghost one is actually one of the most useful souls in the game that we can get at this point. So it's kind of going to be a good idea if we can get the ghost. And there's a peeping there's a peeping eye outside there. There's a lot of, like, weird zombie soldiers. I find it kind of weird how some of the enemies are obviously from the past and some are, like, modern day. I should point out as well, I never actually did this, but this is actually, as far as I'm aware, the only CastleVania game set in the future. And there are a couple of futuristic kind of weapons and armors and stuff that we'll encounter later in the game, which really cements the idea that this is the only future CastleVania game. It's also the third CastleVania game on the Game Boy Advance, and in my personal opinion, and I believe in most people's opinion, it's the best one. And personally the most fun. It's the only one that's really, in my opinion, like an RPG. The rest are just side-scrolling beat-em-ups. I guess you could call them that. If you had to give them a category, I guess they'd be that. Well, not really beat-em-ups, but they're side-scrollers. This is obviously a side-scroller. But, yeah, actually, that's a good question. If you guys have played the 3D CastleVania games, what did you think of those? Because I've never actually experienced them, but I have heard that they're not that good. Like, that's just a thing I've heard. I'm not sure if that's true or not, and I'm not going to claim that it is true, because, like I said, I've never played them. But I want to know your opinion. I guess it's a game that you couldn't really turn into 2D. Well, then again, I'm sure a lot of people thought that about Mario, but then Mario 64 turned out to be such a massive success and a fan favourite all around. It's kind of strange to me, thinking of, you know, how games came from 2D and now they're just 3D, and how far games have come, really. I mean, just from, like, 2000 6, like GameCube generation, up until the Wii. I know they were running on basically the same hardware, but the things they started to do with the Wii, just with the innovation of motion controls, just made it so awesome. And in fact, these days, you know, when I first had my Wii, I'd say I didn't personally like it, if I'm honest. But these days, I'd say it's probably my favourite console that I own. I suppose by this point you guys have probably guessed that I'm not going to be reading the text boxes. I actually went into the wrong door. I thought for a second this would be the room with the dialogue stuff in it, but it actually turns out to be the bottom one, which I remember now that I've gone into it. I actually wanted to find this shrine, and I was actually planning to do that little dialogue mission advancement next episode, but you know what, we might as well do that now. Basically, that's what you could call the secondary of the game, rather than being like the main like castle structure, I suppose. It turns into more of like a chapel. Oh, here we go. Zombie soldier throws hand grenades. That's actually kind of awesome. I didn't think we'd get that so soon. Let's have a look what it's like. That's actually kind of good. Although it does cost a lot, so I'm not sure. It does a lot of damage though, if I remember correctly. But I think because it's one that, in my opinion, alright guys, sorry about that sudden cut. My cat actually wanted to come through my window. I've spoken about it in a couple of videos before. So I apologise for that. It's a lot more irritating for me than it is for you, I promise. Yeah, so like I was saying, we're heading through here. Now, one thing I don't actually like about the grenades in terms of the way the power-up works is it works like a real grenade, as in you throw it and it doesn't explode on impact, it waits. So it gives you a lot of time for the enemy to actually like go past it, unless like, you know, it does damage when it hits the enemy. I want to see if it does. Oh my god, that was so close. But like I said, it's a grenade, so you kind of expect it to act that way. But I just kind of prefer the use of the skeleton spear, just because, let me just show it, for example. I actually need to switch back to it anyway. The winged skeleton is, as you've noticed from combat in the past, it explodes. Oh my god, merman, we've got another one. Okay, it explodes. It doesn't explode on impact, but it does damage on impact, as in you don't have to wait for it to actually like do damage. If I remember correctly, merman's actually good. Okay, this is the thing I don't like about this one. So it looks like it's doing a lot of damage. It looks like it's going far, but it's actually like more of a melee power instead, which is kind of really super annoying. Anything through here? Oh, I forgot about this guy. He's just guarding like a normal potion, I'm pretty sure. There we go. Potions, I think they either increase... I can't remember because I never really used potions. I think they either increase your health or your magic. I really can't remember. I probably should because this is a let's play, but I really just cannot. But anyway, we're going to be moving on to the next part of the game. Did I switch? Okay, yeah, I'm just making sure I've got the winged skeleton. You know, just to summarize what I was saying, I prefer the way the winged skeleton is because, as you saw, it does damage as soon as it hits the enemy, whereas the zombie soldier, it doesn't do damage until it actually explodes. So that kind of sucks. And I believe there's loads of ghosts in here, but welcome to the chapel, guys. I'm just going to be going until we get to the next save point, and then at that point, I think I'm going to just end the episode, because I've actually made a lot of progress. It may not seem it, but look how far we've travelled since the last place, you know? We've done kind of a lot. Which is really super awesome. Could you just die, please? Thank you very, very much. But I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm kind of enjoying doing it. It's nice to do a series where I know what I'm talking about, because I haven't really done that since, I'd say Super Mario Galaxy 2, because most of my series since that point have been blind or not entirely 100%ed. Although this isn't 100%, I know more of what I'm doing than I do in other games. Okay, so Giant Ghost is a special one. It just provides a protective barrier. I don't know if that's permanent or just for a limited time only. I assume it's just for like as long as you have it equipped. But the thing about the special ones, the blue ones, as you may have noticed, is they do actually cost you your hearts, your magic, your mana, or whatever you want to call it. There we go. I'm just going to call it hearts, because that's, you know what? No, I'll just call it magic, because that to me makes more sense, because it is your magic. It costs you magic, even though, like, you're not choosing to use it. So, personally, I'd rather use the combat and only just switch to the special ones when I need it. But, like I said, we're just going to be getting to 2 save points. So, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see everybody next episode when we tackle the rest of Area 2. I will see you all then. Goodbye.